Aw, man, I thought I was gonna get to see a goat.
You worst generation trash.
All those flaps down while sobbing, while pretending to be drunk. Yeah, so, oh my God, make it fit.
Oh, that was so perfect. That was amazing, but incorrect.
They didn't give me all the meat that they said they were gonna give me.
The only thing that weirded me out about the live action is like, why is Buggy so sexy? Like, that's not what I picture at all.
I love Brooke, and I think Ian is perfect. Don't tell him I said that. I try not to compliment him any more than is absolutely necessary.
Surely it can't get crazier than this. Never mind, it can.
You're watching convention coverage.
My name is Amalee, and I voice Uta in One Piece Film Red.
Yay!
Thanks for coming out. Yay!
My name is Kyle Phillips. I'm the voice of Marco the Phoenix in One Piece.
David Sobolov, the voice of Kaido.
Yeah, I'm so tired of fighting you. My name is Colleen Clinkenbeard, and I play Monkey D. Luffy.
And I'm Luci Christian, and I play Nami.
What would you guys say was your most difficult part to record?
I tend to play a lot of comedic roles, and so whenever a dramatic role comes along, I get real nervous because it doesn't happen that often for me. But when we first go to Wano, it's like the couple episodes before Wano officially starts, and that's the first time we've seen Marco in a little while, and he's talking to Cat Viper, and
God,
he's tearing up
so
about Whitebeard. Yeah, I was like, that was a fun challenge. So I don't know if that counts as difficult, but that's what came to mind.
You know, you and I had some difficulty, I think.
Sure did.
There's only so much that the human voice can endure.
I've discovered that stretches.
I think over the 61 episodes that we fought, we pushed the limit on that, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for Luffy, it's mostly physically difficult. I mean, he has emotional times, but I can roll with that. But the physical difficulty of screaming that loud and that long is intense, especially like with happened, my lung capacity went down, and that was right while I was fighting him.
I did something I haven't told anyone yet in public. I had to record 8 of the episodes while I had.
Oh, no.
And they were very kind to me. I said, I'm going to have to go and cough for a minute. I'll be back.
Oh, my goodness.
But we got through it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wish I could remember exactly which episodes because it'd be interesting to listen.
Now people are going to be listening for it.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that it was harder, even with my fights with you, it was harder to yell at Sanji from a distance during that section where Luffy is just like calling out to him.
I'm not gonna eat.
Yeah, that was harder physically because it's so
Right?
sustained and so in the same place. And like a scream has an ebb and flow, and then you move on to the next thing. It's got different places in your throat. So
Man,
There's a
different
trick.
tones.
And you have to learn this to survive in this business. If you scream, you must scream in character. You must scream in the moment and tell the story with your scream. If you're just screaming, you'll lose your voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's because, sorry guys. I'm like really into that subject.
Yeah.
It's because your body is built to scream. If something is happening that is putting you in
Causing you to
danger.
scream, yeah.
Right. Yes. So if you are, being mugged and you scream, you're not going to hurt your throat because your body's into it. So if you are in character, you are less likely to hurt your voice. That does not work for Luffy because Luffy is not my natural voice. So my body doesn't want to do that. But he's absolutely right. If you're in character, your screams are not going to hurt you as much.
Yeah.
As much.
I think, Kyle talked about how we recorded the show out of order. We started at 151 or whatever it was when we took over from 4Kids. And then we didn't go back and dub from episode 1 until later. And so I didn't do the Arlong arc until we'd been working on it for a couple years. And when we got to that scene in the street with Nami, that probably was the hardest thing because I think there's the emotional stuff, but this is a very technical business, and it's sort of marrying all of this emotional stuff to these challenging flaps. And that's a legit thing. Also, I could tell this was the crux of her. This is where, to me, and now when I tell people, I'm like, give One Piece through the Arlong arc. If you can get through that and not be hooked by the show, then it is not for you. But I was like, oh, I can recognize that this scene is the hook because it's where she breaks down, it's where Luffy says, I'm here, even though she doesn't deserve it. She has not been a good friend. And then he looks at our dudes and he's like, ready? And they're like, yeah. And he goes and punches out Arlong. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
That's where they become a crew.
it's awesome. Yes, like instant family is born. So all of that stuff kind of rides on this scene, you know, and I think emotionally and for all of that, it was probably most challenging.
Yeah.
And Uta is a movie-specific character, so without spoiling it for those that haven't seen it, she goes on a wild ride, and obviously it was hard to get those different, hit those different points to make sure that she sounds different throughout the movie. But without spoiling it, I also voiced a character named Queen Otohime during the Fishman arc,
Really?
for those of you guys that don't know. And I remember there's a specific scene where she's drinking a little bit of, like, you know, spicy juice, and she's crying and sobbing into like one of the telephones. And I remember the flaps were so specific that it was hard to get all those flaps down while sobbing, while pretending to be drunk. Yeah, so I just remember being like, oh my God, make it fit.
On this subject, Chris Kaysen has a great direction that I heard. It was, oh, that was so perfect. That was amazing, but incorrect. That's always the most heartbreaking thing.
No.
But incorrect. Thank you.
Thank you guys. You guys are
great question.
amazing.
If the character that you voice could be in any other anime, what anime would you want them to be in?
Well, speaking of My Hero, well, so what's interesting about My Hero is their quirks all have negative effects to them usually. So I feel like anyone with like a quirk, like if Marco were to all of a sudden be in like the My Hero world where there is like magic, but then he is like, well, he would be dominant. He would destroy anything because there's no negative
Well, he can't
side
swim.
effect.
Yeah.
He can't swim. But I would say that's my answer.
I think that Uta would be great in a magical girl anime, but maybe like with a twist. So maybe like a Madoka Magica. I think that'd be pretty crazy. Yeah.
There's a new show coming out. I think I have this right. Kaiju number 8. That looks really interesting, and I would really like to be a part of that. If any of you are casting it, let me know.
Different question. I would put Luffy in Fairy Tail just to see how he and Urza riff off each other, because I think he would love Urza and Urza would hate him.
Think of one. I mean, I can think of 50. I don't know. I think it would be fun to just have, I mean, Nami, part of the fun of playing her is that as deep as all of these characters can be, she is a real, she's got big
Slytherin energy?
boss energy. Yes. Yes.
I'm glad that's where you're going.
Yes.
With that.
Like at heart, she's always going to be a cat burglar, right? Yeah. And so I think some show where she gets to just kind of lean into that would be super fun.
I think Cowboy Bebop. She'd be on the Bebop crew.
Oh, that's my answer. That would be so
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I would totally watch that. Oh, that's great. Using her wiles to get out of slippery situations. Oh, yeah.
Demon, you want to get cast.
I didn't hear the question correctly. I didn't know that it was what my character would be in another
Where
one.
would you? What anime would you?
Something totally wrong for Kaido
Yeah.
would be fun.
Yes.
You know, like some high school dating. Yeah.
Or on high school date.
Or on High School
And he
Host
would be
Club.
playing
That's right.
a high school
With Kaido's voice. Yes.
If your characters had social media, what do you think they would do with it?
Luffy would just review food.
Oh, yes, he would.
Pictures of food.
Yes,
He'd become a
would.
Yelper.
Yeah.
They didn't give me all the meat that they said they were going to give me.
Yeah. That's right. I feel like Nami, I mean, it would be a bunch of bikini shots. And
Yeah.
I mean, she would use it to,
Be an Instagram model.
she totally would be. Yeah.
For money.
For money. She would
Kai-
monetize that stuff so fast.
Kaido would have a sake tasting channel.
I think Marco would he would not be on social. He would shirk it. He would not have a smartphone. Because he left and went to his island and I'm just gonna heal people. He would just,
Fan sites, maybe. Fan Twitters.
yeah, he would have there be fake accounts and he would only get one just so that he could stop the fake accounts. That'd be it.
My answer is so boring because Uta would be like a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Like she totally would.
Totally.
She'd like release all the. I mean, that's like the
She would
plot
be you.
of the movie. Yeah.
She would be Amalee,
yes. You are Uta.
Yes.
Interesting casting.
I know. Wow. So out of my range.
I don't know if you've checked her out. You should definitely look for her.
You should look for her, and she did all of the songs from Film Red, you guys, and they are
They're so good.
amazing.
They're so
So
good.
good.
I had so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a fun question.
That was so fun.
That was a good one.
What do you guys think about Inaki and Emma, who plays Nami and Luffy in the live action one?
I have not. Listen, I haven't seen the live action, but it's not because I don't want to see the live action. It's because my son won't let me. We're watching the anime together, and I don't want to watch live action without him, but he won't switch over because he wants to watch the anime. So I don't think I'm going to be allowed to watch it until I get caught up.
I thought they were great. I truly think that the magic of the show kind of hinges on Luffy, and I think that casting was brilliant. He's got such a great heart, and Luffy is kind of a challenging character. I mean, he's sort of perennially. How do you describe Luffy?
Living in the moment. He lives in the moment all the time.
And he has I don't know. He's just they found it. He's perfect. And the only, what I like is I thought that the live action Nami is true to who the character is. Now in the anime, she gets to be more spunky and kind of ornery and all of those things. And it's, there's going to be some differences. But I thought she was great, perfect. And all of the heart of the show is still there, right? They did that. I don't know if that's because Oda was a part of it or what. But they did it, and I think you can see that everybody was skeptical. Adaptations are hard, we all know it, but they did a really good job.
It's like the first one everybody liked.
Do you think that there's a secret reason why Chopper's bounty is so low after everything?
It is a joy to my heart that his bounty is so low. It's so great.
It's just discrimination against animal people.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I think that's it. Like, he's too cute to be
too
threatening.
Precious.
It's just the Straw Hat's pet. Like, we'll put a bounty on him.
He couldn't have done anything wrong. Look
That's
at
right.
him.
I do think it will be interesting to see how he is treated
Yeah.
in live action.
I know. I'm dying to know.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't they say, I heard somebody, this is not me saying anything from a place of knowledge. Didn't they say they were going to do it practically rather than CGI?
Like have a little reindeer person?
Oh. No, like with makeup. Yes. That
Kyle.
Sure. Yes.
Like a little reindeer person?
Yeah.
Yep, they're going to find
Oh my
one.
God.
Yeah.
It's going to be real hard casting.
It's my favorite.
All that matters though with Chopper is that actor hides like Chopper does.
Yes.
That's all I
poorly.
care about.
Oh, thank you. You're so welcome. I love
I
that.
can't wait to see it. I'm so curious what they're going to do.
Chopper.
What Pokemon do you think your character would have?
Pretty easy. Moltres.
Be whatever.
Moltres, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Oh, ditto. I say ditto.
Yeah. That's a good one.
No, it'd be Meowth for Nami.
For the, you think?
Meowth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Guzzlord?
You know Beyond the 151 original?
Listen, there's some Pokemoning going on in my house.
Okay, all right.
Shiny Guzzlord? Whatever.
I would need help. Can someone suggest?
Oh, you're dragon. So, yeah, you're going to be, I'm going to say Rayquaza. Charizard, do you think? I was going to go with Rayquaza because it seems a little bit more.
Ooh, Gyarados would be good.
Yeah.
Gyarados would be good.
Gyarados.
Oh, Gyarados, yeah.
Cool.
Shiny girl.
Moltres. Or
Moltres, yeah.
Moltres. Is Jigglypuff a boring answer? I mean, it's a singing one. Come on.
Yeah, that's
Put
cute.
you all to sleep, Listen here.
That's cute.
That's cute. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Snorlax.
Other than Bartolomeo, who is your favorite character One Piece other than yourself?
Brooke.
Oh, Brooke.
I have one.
This is
Ma. Big Mom.
now that the live action is out, I feel like this is kind of a cheap answer, but my answer's always been Buggy the Clown. Mike as Buggy is just awesome. Except for when Luffy gets big. Oars? No, not
Oars.
Yeah, Oars.
Or Nightmare Luffy. I'll take either one.
Yeah, Buggy after all the fan art I've seen on Twitter.
It's so weird though. That's the only thing that weirded me out about the live action. Is like, why is Buggy so sexy? Like, that's not what I picture at all.
It's like my entire For You page. What's going on?
several bite-sized snacks.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I usually say Buggy because in the show, I love how Mike does him. Yeah. He's like, "How dare you flashily do your thing at me?" Like, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love Brooke, and I think Ian is perfect. Don't tell him I said that.
I know. He's great. He's so great.
I try not to compliment him any more than is absolutely necessary. But he does so well with that role.
I like Vivi too.
Aw, Carrot. Oh, we both love Carrot.
Carrot.
What is your favorite voice line?
Oh man, I thought I was gonna get to see a goat.
Oh wait, no. I have to think.
I want to change.
I have to think.
3-sword style. 4-sword style.
Colleen, did I actually say this at one point? I was told I did. I think I did. You worst generation trash.
Yes.
I signed a lot of that. I like that's my favorite part.
You know, people call Marco Pineapple Head. Yeah. And so I like that in the Wano arc, they just like leaned into it. And so he has a new attack, Phoenix Pyreapple. So I loved saying Phoenix Pyreapple. Like when the came up in the scroll, I was like, "Are you serious? Is that you're joking with me?" Like, no, that's it. That's my favorite.
I love when Uta picks on Luffy like a sister, and she's like, "Luffy, you sore loser."
I mean, OG, like when they're all doing the leg moment, and it's like, I'm going so I can draw a map of the entire world, like that. But recently, I had a favorite moment. If you haven't seen the show, it doesn't give anything away. But later in the Wano arc, Usopp and Nami are running around fighting together, and Usopp tries to be Nami for a little bit, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, stop being me, stop doing that. But later on, she does an impression of Usopp, and it is awesome. They were like, can you try to do an impression of Usopp? And I was like, I don't know if I can do an impression of Usopp. Like, but it is an awesome dub moment, is what I'm saying.
Just you messing with Sunny.
It's so funny. Well, apparently he heard it and just fell out, which is our goal. I mean, it's the goal. But I loved it so much.
Well, thank you very much. I enjoy you guys' voice acting, especially Uta. You're my favorite.
What it's like having to yell so much and yell like such weird things sometimes.
That is like 60% of my job.
Yeah.
And they pay me to do that.
I liked how, again, not giving anything away, but very recently, Gear 5 happens and things happen. And Nami's, one of her first responses to that was looking at him and being like, what happened to your hair? Like, it was not, oh, you are amazing. It was, why do you look so stupid? What is happening? Like,
Has our Looney Tunes episode aired yet?
Shush.
Oh, it's aired. You know what? It's all aired in Japanese.
No,
They've
it has
seen
not.
it. No, it has
They
not.
have not seen it yet. I cannot wait to share what we have done with you.
what we've done.
What have we done in that episode? I was having an
remember.
out-of-body experience when I was recording that.
So, but we do often have to yell. And what's funny is, like, we call them the Nami shark teeth. So that is a different kind of map, a flap matching. To yell and try to be like, how dare you? Why did you steal my treasure? Like, the shark teeth.
Yeah, Marco doesn't yell anything weird.
Pineapple.
Phoenix Pyreapple. Yeah, maybe about it.
Thank you.
What's your favorite catchphrase for One Piece?
Because I've heard it a gajillion times recording so much of it. I'm going to be king of the pirates.
Right, I mean,
Because that's like, done with this episode, turn it in.
Yeah.
You hear it every single time.
I mean, for Nami, I feel like for the longest time, her main one was Thunderbolt Tempo! You know, and it would just awesome. Yeah. And as her power has grown with her climate attack and everything and all of it, it's so cool. With a certain cloud, you know, all of that is so flippin' fun.
I really loved it when they were doing
It's a mystery
gag all the time, and it would be Chopper and Usopp and Luffy like all starry-eyed at something, and that seems to have dropped off. I want them to bring it back. It was my favorite thing.
Kaido's laugh changes depending on the situation. That's why I like it so much.
Again, loves the Kaido laugh. I think you nailed that.
Do it.
Thank you.
He tweeted me and told me he was going to be here this weekend, and I was like, will you growl at me?
We had never met in person until this weekend.
Oh, really? I love that.
Now
I'm
we're
in Los
besties.
Angeles, and I don't know where. Are you in Dallas? Yeah. We've always recorded separately. But I think almost every week I heard you had recorded before me, so I got to work with your voice. But you didn't usually get anything.
No, it was not fair.
I wish Uda had a catchphrase. She doesn't have one.
Well,
But I
what
do
about
love-
another character?
It's true. I do love the King of the Pirates one. It's very nostalgic. It just
Okay.
it's feel good. Make your heart go.
You can't
"Yeah."
say that without doing this.
Yeah.
King of the Pirates.
Exactly.
We all have our own
Yeah.
Luffy
All right.
version.
Well, thank you guys.
If each of you could have any of the devil fruits from the series in your real life, what would it be?
Isn't there a teleportation?
Yep,
one?
Door. I want
Yes,
Door.
that one, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yes. Teleport to Japan, get some food, teleport back.
Nice.
Yes, please.
Man.
Time saver.
Teleport to cons without having to fly.
Yes. That's going to be the answer for everybody.
Without being delayed for 4 hours.
Oh, I used to. What's the one? Shoot, there was a healing one. It's like a phoenix.
That's mine.
Yes, Marco. I love that.
That's pretty
I
great.
think that's super cool. But we've also talked about as mothers, like
Robins.
Robins with the multiple arms.
Yeah.
Flower.
That would not suck.
Helpful. It would
Very.
be helpful.
Definitely.
I like as you get older, like when you're a kid, you're like, I want to fly.
Yeah.
But then as you're an adult, it's like, what would allow me to levitate the remote to me?
Yeah.
Or turn off the lights?
I talk about that with Rose all the time because he's like, I want to blow things up. I'm like, yeah, but that's not practical in real life, honey.
I want
Make
to
a better
put the
plan.
I want to put the wet clothes into the dryer without actually having to go there.
You'd just be
What's
Captain
that
Buggy.
power?
Your hand would just detach and then put it there.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe Robin's.
I want the fold fruit. Yeah.
Kaido?
Oh, well, the teleportation one.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Earl, what's your opinion on the Egghead Island arc?
I am really excited to see what they do with the animation. Because, the animation in Wano got so elevated and so incredible. And I know Egghead, in the manga, the art style gets very retro. And I'm wondering how they're going to keep up the animation quality and still, add that retro flair in. So I'm super excited to see what they do. I have complete faith. It'll be amazing. But I don't know yet.
Have we seen Vegapunk yet?
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, in promos, right?
I would just be excited to see Vegapunk.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I love Nami's moon boots. They look great.
Yay!
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because the outfits are just part of. Now with the arcs, I'm like, what are they wearing?
Yeah.
What are they wearing?
In my house, it's my husband who gets the most excited about that. Every new arc, he'll be like, oh, it's a blue vest, because I have a blue vest. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your favorite arc?
Thriller Bark.
Is it still?
I'm gonna pick. Well, aside from recent ones, which kind of took over, I really like Thriller Bark. It's where we get Brooke, and so many fun things happen. There's a real Scooby-Doo vibe, and it was fun. I'm
gonna cheat and give you 3 that are also 4. Wano, Thriller Bark, and Water 7 Ennie's Lobby. So all of them. No, there's a lot that I'm not saying, but there's reasons for all of that.
I will need to learn because I need to go back to episode 1 and dig in, which I never have.
Wano for you.
Yeah. I directed the compilation movie episode of East Blue, which is cool because a lot of that early stuff is my favorite because I think it's interesting that One Piece overall I'd say is more silly than not, except when it gets to the fights and whatnot. But the Straw Hats all have the most horrific, sad origin stories.
So sad.
Except for Luffy.
Except for Luffy, who's just I'm in a barrel. But yeah, I'd say specifically Arlong Park.
So good.
So good.
So good.
I would say Wano for animation. It's just so beautiful to look at. But I'm I'm a nostalgic girl, so definitely the early episodes just give me a lot of love. I like to go back and reminisce.
It's fun too. One Piece has been going on for so long. When in Japan, when they never skip a week, as far as I know, and so they're here's just some filler stuff. And so like you have these recaps where it's like, I remember when I joined the crew, and then you have to pull from those early episodes, and it looks so wildly different.
Yeah.
It's like in 3-4 instead of white. It's just like, but it's cool like seeing how far we've come, how different it is, but like how it also still kind of feels the same. You know, it's pretty cool.
Thank you. Thanks. If you could teleport to the One Piece universe and had 5 minutes to raid the wardrobe of any character, who would you pick?
Oh my gosh.
Crocodile. Easy.
I want that for you.
I know.
I wear that thick coat, the cigar. Although he wears that thick coat in the desert.
I mean,
That's true. That's true.
Hard.
Princess Fever?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, you know.
Uta?
Uta would be fun.
Uta would be super fun.
Uta, or who's the mermaid princess girl?
Shirahoshi.
Yeah,
Yes.
her closet. She has some beautiful frilly
Gorgeous.
jackets. Yeah, the jewelry.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think David would pick Rebecca, the gladiator.
That's hard.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go like.
I know, like go back through and
Research.
look.
Like, who's the most fashionable?
I feel like I would go raid Sanji's closet for my husband.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank
I'll
you
just
so
play
much.
dress up.
Yeah. Thank you.
What do you think is the funniest line from like any of the arcs?
Oh, so many. I mean,
Could you show me your panties?
every time.
I want to hate that, but it's too funny.
It's funny every time. Every time.
Watching it with my kid, less funny. Because he laughs, and I'm like, stop laughing.
Where was it when? remember when we all switched bodies? And Sanji had Nami's body, or he was in my body, and she's like, "Stop touching my chest!" Like, 'cause he was like, "Ah." Anyway, whatever. Recently, I had a super funny scene. Again, later with a certain cloud, and Nami gets really sort of fatal attraction in the moment, and is like, "I'm never gonna let you go." And there's all this like crazy. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, it's super funny when you get there. It was great. One of those that when you do, you're like, I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah,
you know.
to share it.
Anybody else?
Lincoln.
It's hard to remember specific lines that were not yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so your favorite slap, sorry.
Kaido.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
But also Foxy.
We talked about this before. Big Mom for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So many good laughs.
I always thought this. Sorry, the Bob Carter voiced a giant in
Yeah,
early arc. I loved his laugh.
That was the first, I think that was the first one that was like a real specific
Yeah.
It was
laugh.
like do 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 do.
Yeah, and then after that, they started to be a little bit more specific every time.
There's a laugh compilation on YouTube, and it's one of my favorites to watch because you're just like, surely it can't get crazier than this. Never mind, it can. Like, it's so great.
I specifically wanted Kaido's laugh to be an homage to the Japanese actor. So there would be a piece of that Japanese version in what I did. So that's what I chose.
Yeah.
With Mike, we worked on that together.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What do you think is your character's fatal flaw?
I think with Marco, he has probably the, if not like top 3 most powerful devil fruits in the show. But he like kind of, he doesn't apply himself. You know, he's kind of, and so I think that's his fatal flaw. It's like, I think he could give Luffy a run for his money if he also wanted to be king of the pirates. He could just go fly. He knows where the island is, doesn't he? I think Marco knows where it is. He could just go fly and get it, so. But he wants Luffy to do it.
Kaido thinks he's an island unto himself, and that doesn't always work in the end, does it?
Yeah, I think that was Nami's fatal flaw in the beginning. Was I have to do it all myself, very like that. These days, probably maybe her temper, maybe her fatal flaw.
Uta, without spoiling it, I hate
That's
spoiling
hard.
this movie. Ah! Who has not seen this? Who has not seen One Piece Film Red? Okay, I'll keep this not spoilery then. Uta wants to create a new world, and we all know her idea of that is a little flawed. So I think that is definitely a flaw of hers, and I think also. I would love to see her in the show. It's just as a fan, I think that'd be so cool. But her power is really, really strong. So they have to really nerf her if that ever happens.
Is the movie canon? Is it canon?
The events of the movie are not canon, I believe. But I know Uta herself is canon.
I think it's interesting because like Luffy and Uta have a really beautiful foil because he absolutely lives in the moment and never lets the past or his designs for the future affect his moment. Yeah. And Uta is the opposite, where her past is just dictating where her future is going. And so I think that his fatal flaw that most people would say is that he doesn't there's no such thing as strategizing. Like everybody can strategize around him, and he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go. I don't think that ends up being a flaw for him because he is so in the moment, and it just works for him.
I think Luffy's fatal flaw is just he trusts too easily.
Agree.
He trusts,
Agree.
But it always works out.
Yeah.
Do you think that Kaido's fatal flaw is his drinking?
I mean, he gets his power from it.
So what's it like basically being part of an iconic franchise that's gonna end probably fairly soon in the future?
Well, you say end fairly soon. He said he's starting the last saga. It's like within One Piece, there's many arcs within a saga. So, I mean, you're not wrong, but I think we still got a little ways to go.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. It's amazing. I love One Piece. Anything with pirates in it, I have a bias to, so it was great to be cast in that.
How does it feel coming into a long, ongoing thing?
It was very cool. I watched One Piece growing up, so it was really cool being a part of a franchise that was so prolific and had so many incredible, talented actors that I respected so much. So it was really cool and a little stressful coming in for One Piece Film Red, but it was really, really fun. And I got to record Uta, I think I was one of the last ones, so I got to hear all of your performances, which was really wonderful because I got to play off of you guys. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm so glad I'm here. It was really, really fun though. Yeah.
I started as an audio engineer recording One Piece back in 2008. So when Funimation took over at like 151, something like that, I was part of the crew that was catching up, doing the backlog of stuff. And my experience with anime was very minimal. And so I was like, oh, One Piece, a fun show about pirates. And I engineered Luci in episode 37 when she's stabbing her arm and carving out her Arlong tattoo. And I was like, oh, okay. So from like those early days to like be a part of it in many ways. I've directed some of One Piece, and then of course being Marco's great. And I think I'm Robeson too. He's like a little animal guy.
Cool.
But yeah, it's great. It's awesome. One Piece is the best.
One Piece was the dream come true I never knew I had because I had not done an anime in 26 years. And by some miracle, I auditioned for this, and I got it. It was my first anime audition in 26 years.
And you got your first, well, I mean,
and I got Kaido,
yeah.
So
Listen to that.
it was
It's just
great.
dropping out of your mouth.
It's been great. I think of Kaido, I think of One Piece as the world's greatest soap opera. And to be the villain now for a little while was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, man, we've grown up together. It's been almost 20 years, and we started out anxious to see if we were going to get a part, and knowing that this was supposed to be somewhat bigger than other shows that we were doing at the time, but having no idea that 20 years later we would still be doing this together. And we went through whole sections where we thought that we were going to be done dubbing it, and it went away, and we didn't think it was coming back because it just didn't have the furor here that it did in Japan. And then to come to now where like not only are we all swept up in this One Piece fever together, but there's the live action that has started. They just announced new things that are on the horizon for the show. My kid and I are watching it together, and my husband is like demanding that we stop so that he can stay with us and not have to catch up at night. Like this is amazing. And we've only gotten closer together, like, through it all, so.
Yeah. And one of the fun things is we've been working on the show so long, but like Colleen said, there were so many ups and downs with this show from a production standpoint. We haven't really done One Piece panels, like not a lot. And so every One Piece panel feels like this very family, like, oh, we're still here sort of thing. And it's been so special. And I really think now, especially for fans who've been with this show for so many years, what a wonderful moment it is that everybody is sort of catching up right now. I just feel like it's a super validating thing for so many people, and how fun. We're all in this moment of not knowing
Yes.
Right? At some point, we're going to know what the One Piece is.
We're the only ones who don't know.
But we don't know. Right now, all of us, we don't
Yeah.
know. And we get to be in this moment together. You know?
Future generations are gonna know.
They're going to know.
Before they watch the show. So if you're not caught up now, if you don't watch it when it happens, it will be spoiled for you. So that is, I think that's why that we all need to
everybody's
band together.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you. I hope that One Piece continues to keep going on for as long as possible.
Me too.
Aw, same.
My voice is a little questionable, but
All right, quick poll of the audience. Who started watching One Piece in the past, 3 years?
Yeah.
it was the time to do it. So
Everyone had time to watch.
Yeah.
Yep. 1,000 episodes.
Yep.
Okay, second question. Who watched the live action first and then came to the anime?
Yes.
That's
awesome. They did a great job.
Yes, agreed.
When you guys got a big fight scene or an emotional scene coming up, do you guys use your own personal emotions or you guys just go for it?
Well, I played Kaido in the moment, and I think that's why it works so well with Luffy, because I didn't know what was coming next. I didn't look at the Japanese version, and I didn't look at any scripts or anything. I just jumped right into it like I had to deal with it right in the moment. We would turn the page or see the next scene, and that was a new thing to me. So that made the fights, I think, more spontaneous and interesting for me anyway.
Yeah, so staying in the moment.
Yeah, staying in the moment.
By not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's somewhat known, but almost exclusively to anime dubbing. Yeah, you don't get any scripts or materials ahead of time. You're just, because they want you fresh, they don't want you with any preconceived notions.
Yeah.
You just jump in there and you do it. So it's kind of a combination. You try to pull on personal experiences, but then also, yeah, the spontaneity of the moment helps a lot of that stuff.
There's an idea that my teacher, I studied with Sanford Meisner many years ago, and they used to say,
You studied with Meisner?
yeah, I've been around a while. Acting is living truthfully under given imaginary circumstances. So you just have to live truthfully under the circumstances that you're given and jump in. You draw from your own experiences, but you kind of live where you are. Right now I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's a different situation than if I were, say, taking a shower or something. You know, I'm right here.
I love Meisner, and I am not very method. I don't pull from my own experience because I feel like that means that there's some kind of level of separation between what you're doing and what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But that being said, Luffy is a teenage boy pirate made of rubber. So I'm not pulling a lot from my personal experience for that, no matter what. But we are working in an industry where we get to cheat because the show is entirely done by the time we get it. I get to watch the scene completely done with music, with all of the voices in there, everything, and get into it as you would, as an audience member. And enjoy it and have your heartstrings pulled just as much, and then they say go. And so we're already kind of there because we just watched it, which is good because Luffy, putting on that voice definitely takes me out of any sort of, emotional connection a little bit.
Yeah.
So I have to rely on the emotional connection I have to the original Japanese.
And usually playing 12-year-old girls, having to play Kaido was a big stretch for me vocally.
Yeah, it seems to have really sunk in.
I think that's right. I think half the battle is just being able to go into the studio and be open enough to be moved, right? However you need to be, because the animation will tell you what it wants you to do most of the time. And the Japanese, we always preview it in Japanese. They help you know. And if you're just open enough to be able to sort of synthesize that and give it a good go, then chances are something truthful will come out.
Yeah. It's the joy of being in a dub.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
But what is the daily stresses that you guys deal with when you work?
I think it's the kind of the name of the game, because your job as an actor is not to act, it's to audition. And so it's just the feast and famine nature of the job where some seasons it's wow, doing a lot, got a lot of roles, and then the next season it seems like everyone has abandoned you and you were not in anything. But it's just part of the up and down wave of it. So that can be stressful when you have a new norm that you're used to, and then it kind of ducks back down. But that's why you need to diversify.
Yeah, becoming friends with rejection, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta just audition and then put it into the ether and forget about it. And then if you book it, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
You have to learn that it's not a personal rejection when you don't get cast. There's a lot of factors that go into it that are beyond our control. We do the auditions, and then if we're smart with ourselves, we forget about it, and then move on to the next thing.
That's sometimes easier than other times. There are times you get super attached to an audition that you did. I hate auditioning in general. But there will be every now and again something where the copy is so good and it's so much fun that you really want it. So that is definitely a stressor. I think in the booth, it can be a stressor if you are not seeing eye to eye with your director. So like trying to make sure that you are being the actor and not taking over and like trying to insert what you think it should be, and instead giving them what they want because they're responsible for the sound of the whole project. That can be.
Without being specific, did that ever happen to you on a whole series where you had to deal with that kind of energy?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Yeah. You?
Just a video game once, but the technique that I used, if it wasn't going well, I have to just sort of go my own way, and then it sometimes will work better.
Yeah.
If we aren't communicating.
Yeah, that's hard. That can be really hard. And then you also have to like resist giving them I don't even know if I want to go there. Giving them a bad version of what they're asking for. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
well, sometimes a director that doesn't have a lot of experience will try to give you what are called line readings.
Yeah.
And what's in their head, because they're not a professional actor, is not what comes out of their mouth. So we have to interpret only what comes out of their mouth, which isn't really what's in their head. So we have to kind of guess sometimes. But that doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. And like I am really grateful for the directors that we have.
They're all great.
That could be, it would be very painful to go in day after day and not agree. So I have a lot more trouble with that outside of the studio that we typically work with.
I think one of the biggest challenges, and it's not just for acting, but for anything, is just to understand that there's a lot of stuff I have no control over. And so what I do have control over is trying to audition well and trying to be somebody everybody likes to work with.
Yeah.
And so I focus on those things, and even because it's always going to go like this, even those of us that have had tremendous success in this industry, there are times when you're not cast, you're not working, it's just the name of the game. But if you do your best with what is in your control, it kind of sustains you. Do you know what I mean? That's like the long game way of looking at it, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty sure you've heard the news about the upcoming One Piece reboot called The One Piece, made by the same people who did Spy X Family.
Yeah.
What are your hopes and this adaptation of One Piece would be like, in your opinion?
I hope I get to be in it.
Yeah.
I think it is a beautiful idea, and I would love to see it executed well, because I think it would be fantastic for people to have an entryway into the series without going back through 20 years of animation. Which for some of us is like, oh, it's such a fun trip, and for others it's a little bit of a barrier. So I think they were brilliant for doing the live action, because that's an entry point for some people, and then this, I think, to me it seems like what they're doing is they're giving modern day fans a way to get into the series.
I hope they don't cast so many huge celebrities that it takes away from the story and focuses on those personalities.
Yeah.
I think they announced Chris Pratt is Luffy.
We are out of time, but thanks, you guys.
Thank you.